Welcome back to Morning Express. It is now 7 o'clock Kenyan time, and it's time for us to go for Person of Interest. Now, Person of Interest is where we basically focus on a person of interest and get to know them not just for the stories that they make on the headlines, but also just to know who they are and what makes them kick. Remember, if you have any questions, you're welcome to send them through, and you can do that via Twitter. The Twitter handle is at KTN News. You can also use at Michael G. Gitonga to tweet me directly. The hashtag is at Morning Express, and rather hashtag Morning Express KTN, and we'll be more than happy to hear from you. This morning we are featuring none other than world record holder. He holds a record in 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters race, and the marathon in Hamburg. That is none other than Henry Wanyoike. Good morning, and great to have you here in the studio with us, Henry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
You're doing very well.
I thank God now for this day He has given to us.
Wonderful. Now, first of all, just by that intro, the fact that you're holding some world records, 5,000, 10,000, tell me, how does it feel to be holding a world record? In other words, wherever you go in the world, you're currently the fastest finisher of the 5,000, the 10,000, and the marathon. How does that feel?
I always feel good, and I feel proud of myself. Despite that, I won these records in my condition, and those who has been my dream when I was a young boy. And I feel good when you see that you have won and you have put your Kenya on the map, because that was my dream since my childhood. And I also feel good that when I see the Kenyan flag going up, I feel that I'm giving fame to our country. And again, I want to show the world that disability is not inability.
Absolutely.
There's something which I always feel good that if you are given, somebody with disability is given an opportunity, he or she can be able to perform because we have all the ability. We have all what it takes to be champions like any other person. And this is what we have been appealing to our people, to the government, and also to the private sector.
To ensure that you get support. All right, now when you're preparing or when you're going for these races, and particularly like these ones you won, do you envisage that you're going to actually win, or does it just happen and you're caught by surprise and think, wow, I'm the winner?
Okay, what happens is that you have to train hard. You have to spend more hours in the training or in the field, because you cannot wake up today and then tomorrow you go for a competition and you expect to win. So you have to give yourself a lot of time, a lot of hard work, determination. So you work, and again, like for my case, I always work with a team, because I be on my own, I cannot be able to make it. So I have to rely with somebody else who is there to tell me this is what we are supposed to do, this is what it's required from us. So with that teamwork of inspiration, you get somebody who is encouraging you. Today we can make it better, Henry. Even like when you go to some of these competition, whoever is with me always tell me, Henry, according to my watch, we are doing very well.
Doing very well.
Or maybe there is some few people in front of us, so we need to push hard so that we can be able to. And this has been happening well, because even when I'm so down, my guide is there to tell me, Henry, today we can still make it. Push hard.
Okay,
yeah.
so your guide, and I'll come to your story, but I just still want to understand this particular part. So your guide is not just there to guide you, they encourage you, they motivate you, they let you know how things are going.
Yeah, he has to do a lot of things as we are running. He has to prepare me in advance. Like in a few meters, we are turning right, we are going uphill, slow down, we get some water on the way. So he has a lot to do. And it's also, I have to trust him, because all what we are doing, he is always beside me.
Right.
And I have to trust him, because whatever he is telling me is the correct, and he has to give me the direction. So he do a lot of work, timing, and also he has to make sure where I'm stepping on the road, I don't injure myself, I don't fall. And especially like when we have like the huge marathons like the Boston, New York marathons, we have to be very sure, because it's crowded. So before you get your own way, he has to make sure that I'm running on the right path.
Okay. Now, help me understand and allow me to ask this, although it might sound odd. For many who can see, we probably look at the finish line and that gives you that impetus, gives you that energy, gives you that zeal to think, I can do this. What is it that gives you that extra energy to finish strong?
Okay, what happens that, like as I have said, my guide, he's always my eyes, he's my eyes. And he has told me, Henry, now we have like, because I used to even to have a guide by that time who sometimes was not all that careful. And I remember one run we did in Machakos when we were marking the Olympic day run in Machakos. I won the 3-kilometer road race. I had a T-shirt and a certificate. I felt so happy that I can still be a champion. In the year 2000, I did the same run, and later I came to Nyayo National Stadium, whereby I qualified to go to Sydney Paralympics. And it was my first international assignment. I went there with a lot of courage, with a lot of determination, and to bring glory to our country. And I really made it in Sydney, having come back with a gold medal, and the only gold medal we brought in Kenya at that time.
Now, are there times you have a guide who possibly, because I imagine your guide must be as good as you, if not better, as in he has to be fit, he has to be as fast. Are there times one can have a guide who slows them down?
Okay, I remember like in Sydney, I had a guy called John Carroll who was with me, and I remember the last like 200 meters, he was really struggling to finish with me. I had to push him to the end. So even like most of the time I was given the direction by the spectators who were telling me, Henry, go right, go left, keep going, keep straight. So the other thing is that on the first marathon I did in Japan, during the World Championships in Japan, I had a guide who just took me only for 12 kilometers. He said, I'm done. So
how many kilometers were you doing?
After 42 kilometers.
Wow.
And after 12 he said,
now, what happens in a case like that?
So I had to get more guides. So the organizers, because we are in front, they do for me other guides on the way. So I changed 8 guides to finish the marathon. I still won the race, and it was tough to use 8 guides. Yeah.
With 8 different guides?
Yeah.
How do you manage that? Because I imagine that you need to have some amount of chemistry with the guide, because this is somebody who you've worked with.
And I had very bad experience. And again, I say, even I had to say that I never do another marathon, because though I won the race, but it was with a lot of challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to your story, because I still want to get how you moved from being somebody who could see and still managed to succeed despite the fact that you'd lost your sight. Were there times you were bitter towards God, or bitter that, you lost your sight?
In the beginning, I was so bitter to my God, asking where he was at that particular time, why it has happened to me. So many questions were going through my head. So I didn't know what to do. And again, from a very humble beginning, I could not realize that I would be able to make it again. So I had, and in fact, that is why it took more years to accept myself, 3 years. And most of the time I was sleeping. I didn't like to be with any person. So I was so much...
Was it some form of depression?
It was depression. I was really depressed. Until the time I went to Machakos Technical Institute for the Bride, and through the lady from Germany, Petra Vayawen, who was so good to me. And that was the time I was able now to realize that even without sight, I can be able to become independent. I can still be able to perform. I can be able even to work on my own through mobility and orientation and other skills which I got in Machakos Technical.
Well, what would you say is that thing that happened to you, or in your mind, in your spirit, or whichever, that made you realize, wait, this is my condition, I better accept it, and the sooner I accept it, the sooner I can move on. And I'm asking that for the benefit of others who may have even a different condition, but they feel it's limiting them. But something must have happened at some point where you said, you know what, I need to move on. I can't see, yes, but I can still do something with my life.
Okay, the best thing, like with me, though I took more years, 3 years, which I can say I wasted 3 years because I didn't have somebody like myself. All the people who are coming to me, they were just coming to say, Pore, we know what happened, sorry, God will be with you. But to my mind, I was asking myself, these people, they don't know what I'm going through, what I'm suffering. But when the time I met people like myself, That was the time I was able to accept myself, and I can even tell any other person like me, or if the family has somebody like me who has been injured or have disability, it is better you take that person to somebody like Henry who have now experience, who can be able to share his experience with that person, because it is easy when you meet somebody like yourself, when you are sharing, because it is very important to share with somebody. And almost eight athletes. You can see comparing to them, they had few medals with comparing to the Paralympics. So I can say they are performing very well than our counterparts.
Okay. Now, one might argue and say that, yes, we did well, given the number of athletes that went and the number of medals that we came back with, we certainly did very well. However, if we look at the ranking, we were 34th. Which means the other countries that are doing very, very well compared to us, whether it is because of the numbers they sent or it is because their athletes generally are better than ours. What do you think would have made us be 34th and not first like we were with the other games that we did not too long ago with the other team?
Okay, what happens that one reason is that we took a very small team. The other thing is that we were only in athletics. But the other countries, they had all sports. There were more than 20 sports which you took part in Rio this year. And you can see with all these countries which are more developed and who have put a lot of money to support Paralympics, that is why you could see countries like China, they were able to score more than 200 medals, over 200 medals. Great Britain, Ukraine, who are top 3. But for Kenya, I think you have not put much in the Paralympics. And I believe this is now it's like a wake-up call to the government and also to the private sector that we need to support Paralympic athletes so that they can be able to perform even much better than like any other person who in Kenya. You can see with a small team, they can be able to bring 6 medals. So if you can be able to be in more sports. And the other thing is that the other big challenge is about our facilities. They are quite expensive, very expensive. Like
because they're specialized.
They are specialized. Like one wheelchair for racing wheelchair, it costs more than 400,000, just one wheelchair. If it comes to the wheelchair basketball, for the basketball, it is more expensive, more than 300,000. Our facilities, they are quite expensive. You see, like myself, when I'm training, I have to be with the guide all the time. When you are traveling, you have to cater for yourself and for your guide. So it is more expensive. So I believe with the government, if there is a way we can have like a camp, a training camp, where we can be able to put our people who have the potential, they can be training there. The government can support them with attires, with the food. I believe we can be able to perform, and you can see maybe in the near future if you can be able to support this the others who are disabled, they can be able to be champions in Africa and the whole world.
Okay. Now, what would you say about people's attitude towards athletes with disabilities? Are we okay? Do we accept them?
I can say not 100%. If I can be able to give them a percentage, maybe I can say like 45%. So I believe with the media, I think you have also failed, because like when we had the Olympics, you used to say to show aid from any person who was competing. We had to see even like if it was the marathon, you have to show us from the first minute to the last minute, even if it is 2 hours. But for the Paralympics, it was just to mention, but I believe in the near future.
You need more support. Now, you did mention that from the government, of course, there would be more support required. And mainly you talked about facilities. And is the support that is required only financial? What other support would you need? You've also talked about possibly people just accepting people with disabilities as competitors like any other. What other support would you need from the government?
I think with the support we need from the government, it's about facilities like this, training attires. we need companies like Nike or Adidas, because we don't have, with the Kenya National Paralympic Committee, they don't have any company they have signed for them to support with them with these attires. Like now, there's the team which went to Rio. They had to beg to knock so that they can have the uniform. So they had to go to buy at the Kenya Sports Center some of the kits for the athletes. So I believe even the Kenya National Paralympic Committee have failed because they have not signed any, they have not gone to look for sponsorship. They only rely with the government. So if the government say it's only 2 athletes who are going to go to represent Kenya, that is all. So I believe in the near future, they are going to work hard with the private sector, like what NOC is doing, working with the private sector. So not only to rely with the government. So I believe the government is doing their part, but even with our people, they need to change their mentality that we have to rely with everything with the government. Even the government is looking for stakeholders. Even for them, I would have to urge them, even when they come back from Brazil, to have working with the private sector, so that we can have we can be able to have more athletes participating in all the competition we have during the World Champs or during the Paralympics. The other thing is that, like as I have said, we need like a camp whereby these people can be able to be assembled together, where they can be able to train together, because like for us, we need to be more working with as a team, because we need maybe rather than having this person is training in Eldoret, the other person is training in Mombasa, we can have them at a central place where they can be training together, and the government can be able to support them.
Okay. Now, you've obviously interacted with many international athletes world over during your races. Do you get the feeling that people with disabilities are generally not given as much support world over, or is this a uniquely Kenyan African problem?
I think this is a problem all over. In fact, I can say Kenya, I can be able to support the government of Kenya. They have been of good support to us. Many countries they doesn't have support like what we have like in Kenya. You can see most of the African countries, only a few countries were represented in Brazil. So I can say that the government of Kenya is doing very well. And I know that we need to appreciate what is the government is doing through the Ministry of Sports. And I believe we need more. But I can say even I have been to these developed countries, Germany, US, but you can see it is they still face the same challenges. So I believe these are challenge for the whole world, not only in Kenya. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's look at the athletics world generally, and this is now both people with disabilities and those who are also not with disabilities. In terms of what do you think would help improve our sporting environment in this country? We do know that we also had issues with the team that went to Rio. Not the Paralympics, but the Olympics. They had issues with support. They had issues with kit not being there where they were staying. What is it, do you think, bedevils us as a country in terms of athletes? Yet, we seem to do very, very well despite all that.
I can appreciate the Kenyan athlete who always make this country proud, who always make these countries well known outside there, who are good ambassadors for our country. They always commit themselves in whatever they are doing. And that is, even with despite the challenges they were going through, like those who went to Rio, they still made it with all those challenges. I can say that with athletes, we need to be supported 100% because we are good ambassadors for this country. We need to be appreciated in a big way. Countries like Singapore or other countries, they were appreciating their athletes who won the medals. One person winning a gold medal in Singapore, it was more than 70 million. Here in Kenya, it's only 1 million. Somebody would have to go to Grand Prix or to the Dam or Drake to run there because you can be able to win more money than running for your country. But than the Kenyan athletes, they are there to support, to see that they represent our country in a better way. So I believe now with the government of Kenya, they are going to do something to appreciate, there is a way they are going to appreciate our good athletes who have made it and who have shown the world that we are the best. We have been ranked the best in the whole world. So if there is a way the government can come up with maybe to support our athletes, maybe to give them like health insurance, or maybe to get job opportunities to those who do well in these sports, because they have really done their part. So even for the government, they need like to involve these people, like they can be the ambassadors, like with the health insurance. They can be able to even to give them like a tax exemption, yeah, so that they can be able, when they are running, they run with all their might. That we are running for our country. Like they want to be treated equally like what is happening in other countries. But it's because 1 million for somebody who can decide, let me go to run a marathon in Boston, in New York, whereby I can win more than 20 million. But they still come to run for the country.
All right. Now, one of the things that maybe we lack as a country, and maybe I'd like to hear what you say about that, is an organized way of having those with disabilities and would like to venture into athletics or sports generally taken care of. We don't have a body that literally takes care of them, such that we would begin to train and nurture from a very young age. Most of the athletes that we have who are disabled probably end up there, let me call it by mistake, because it's not arranged. There's no, formal way of identifying them and training them. Do you think that's one thing that would help our athletes with disabilities?
I totally agree with you that if we can be able to...
The objective of the Henry Wanyoike Foundation, what is it that you'd like to achieve?
Okay, the very objective is about education, because we want to see even children with disability, they are able to get quality education, and also with the other children. I have even I have a book, Henry Wanyoike Victory Despite Blindness. I do a lot of school visits for motivation, another organization, and we even have a kindergarten we have 80 children we are supporting through where I was born, and then the other objective is about sports, and through sports it's about what we are now through sports, health, and about environment. Through sports now we have the hope for the future, and which is now this year we had the 10th edition, and it's a run whereby like this year we had more than 15,000 participants who came to take part in that race. Even the American ambassador was there running with us. And with the environment, we are planting trees with different partners, and in schools, in cities. This is what we have been doing. About the health, we have started the health clubs, whereby we try to bring people from the same area to be training together. We want people to be in good health. The other objectives is about even about disability, whereby we are supporting people with disability, because it's my area. We give them ATAs. We are trying to partner with like a national person for the Kenya National, with the APDK, with all the organizations which are dealing with disability.
Okay, so there's quite a lot that you're doing in that area. But I've also noticed, and maybe you can tell us more, you're very involved in the Stanchart Marathon.
I'm a good ambassador for Standard Chartered Marathon, whereby we are raising money. Our target was to raise 2 billion Kenya shillings, and I'm happy that we are almost there. It's like we are now 1.8 billion. So I can say we are doing, and this is a global campaign. Many children under 10 years, they are able now to go to the hospital without any cost, and they are able to be supported. In Kenya, we have 5 hospitals where these children who they come from poor background, from less fortunate, and they're able to go there and get the operation done for free, and many other parts of the world. So I've been learning in Kenya, in many parts of the world, learning and support this campaign. I've been able to run more than 20,000 kilometers through this campaign, and it is working well. And I want even people to register for Stanchart Marathon on 30th October. Is when we have the other marathon, which is coming soon. So this is the run I'm very much in it, supporting people like myself. I'm also representing disability in Kiambu County. So I'm very much involved with
the community.
With the community.
Okay, the 2 billion shillings that you hope to raise through the Stanchart Marathon, is that specifically taking care of the blind, or is it people with disabilities?
This one is only for the blind children. The Stanchart came up with one of the initiatives to support the children with the visual who have the visual problem. And it is good they started, at least they have somewhere they have started. I believe after this campaign they will continue with the target was all the way to the 2020, but in fact we have surpassed our target. I believe by 2020 we will be able to raise more than even 3 billion. But I believe if there are other or other institutions whereby they can now come and support those who are physically challenged, those who are mentally challenged, and by then the Stanchart that they have supported those who have the visual problem.
All right, and for Henry Wanyoike, what's in the future? You already hold a number of world records which have not been broken to this day, so you're still a champ. What do you see in the future?
In fact, I want to tell Kenyans that I didn't make it to go to Brazil because 1 week before I had a car accident in Naivasha. I was admitted in Kenyatta.
Yes, because you were part of the team that was supposed to go to Rio.
I was part of the team. Correct. To go and defend my record.
Your marathon.
So, but I'm happy that none of my record was broken during this Paralympics in Brazil. But so I want to tell the Kenya that it was not my wish or my fault not to go to Brazil because everybody was expecting to see Henry Wanyoike bringing more medals in Kenya. And I didn't make it, but I want to assure Kenyans that in a month to come, because I'm now recovering, I'll be able to go to that is in November. I have a race in Germany, and I believe I'll be able in Hanover. I'll be able now to show them that I can still do better.
So at 41, you're still running. Many athletes probably retire once they hit their 35, going just about before they get to 40. What's giving you that energy to continue running, Henry?
I think I've been taking care of myself, discipline, and I've been training hard. And then God has given me
good health.
Good health. Because when you, as a sportsman, if you're in good health, if you don't have injuries, if you have discipline, you behave well, and you are more committed in sports, you can be able to be more to be on the track for many years. And I believe in the next few years I want to see myself. The medal I missed in Brazil, I can make it in Japan. Yeah.
So you're still looking forward to winning other gold medals for Kenya?
I want to see myself improving my own records. The 3 world records I still holding. I want to see them, put them that to keep the safe for myself.
Okay. Yeah. And what's the plan once at some point you'll have to, hang your boots or your running shoes, so to speak? What's the plan? What do you intend to do?
I want to concentrate more with the Henry Wanyoike Foundation and also to support those who are less fortunate in our country. And now, like what I'm doing with the disability movement, I want to see that the rights for persons with disability are well appreciated. We are not anymore of A or B. We want to see people with disability being in the agenda. That is what I want to see myself when I'm not more actively in sports. So I want to be fighting for the voiceless, so that they can have voice in our country.
Okay, that's a statement we've had mainly from politicians, saying that they're fighting or they're there to fight for the voiceless. Would you consider going into politics?
I'm more, now, as you can see, I'm now representing disability in Kiambu County. I want to see myself even being an elected person of in my ward. I want to start in Gitaru ward, which is in Kabete, sub-county of Kiambu County, so that I can show the people, even if you can be able to trust somebody with it. If they have trusted me when I'm going to overseas, and I have never disappointed them, I believe in my condition. I still have what it takes to be a good leader, somebody who is there for the people. They can, from my records, they can see what I've been doing. It's not the time I'm starting this. I have started many years ago. So there is something I can put on the table.
So
this is what
in
I have
short,
done.
you're saying you would consider going into politics?
I'm looking forward even the next general election, 2017, to see my name in the ballot paper.
Wow, what position are you going for? And
I'm going for the MC of Gitaru Ward in Kabete sub-county.
Okay,
yeah.
Member of County Assembly. Now,
yeah.
What do you have to offer the people, Henry?
For myself, I want to see myself working with the people. I don't want to be there deciding for the people. I want to be there talking to the people, sharing with them, this is what they want to be. Because I can go to one place, they want water. And in my mind, I want to give them something else. I want to work very closely with the people. I want to see youth, we are able to look for job opportunities. I have connections in abroad. And I know with the connection I have, and even what I'm doing exactly, we can be able to take our ward in somewhere to be somewhere people will be coming to look for on what has happened in our area. Yeah, so I believe in that if I be elected in the Gitaru ward, it won't be the same in the next 5 years.
But now, Henry, we've had that statement from all the politicians that come in. What would make you different? What is it that would give you that ability to ensure that their lives are changed? As opposed to, I mean, this rhetoric we've had for years of politicians who say, when I come in, I will make sure that everything for you is good.
Okay, the best thing with the Wanyoike, it's something he has started. I have shown the people what I can be able to do. I have children.
But you've shown them in terms of leading on the marathon
not only in the marathon. I have children I'm taking care of. Like now I have eight children who are in kindergarten, who I'm supporting from the less fortunate. I have every year I take 10 students who have done very well in primary school in KCP. I always take, and we take care for the 10 children, those 10 students every year, with my support of the Wanyoike through the organization. Then we have those we partner with who are in colleges. I have supported people, empowered economically. I started with the Boris Baker Foundation, the former world champion in tennis. I started a project of cows for Kenya. We have given cows to the poor people. We have supported people to start small businesses. This is something already I have started. Many people have benefited through my effort. I brought people from abroad who have come to support even with young people, like with the artists for training.
One might argue that you're already doing a lot and good stuff while you're not in politics. One might ask, why soil your hands with politics? Because it looks like politicians somehow get sucked into that arena and their good works quickly change.
Okay, my case is quite different because I believe I work when my hearts are tied. Like I remember I had a connection with the German embassy whereby they wanted to build the stadium in my area. But because I was not the person in power, they had to take back their money over 80 million because I was not the person in possession. At the moment, I cannot do much because it's like my hearts are tied. But when I'm there, I believe even when I go to any office of this country, in abroad, I don't need to do much introduction. This is Henry, because most of the people, they know me. So I want to be very different. We want this, like even what the president is talking about, the change started with myself. Nowadays we have leaders. We have politicians, yes, but we have leaders. Like now our president is a leader, but we still have politicians who think about the next election. But for a leader, you have to think about generation, and this is what I'm doing. I'm thinking about generation. I want to make our area much better than the way I found it. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to conceptualize and imagine Henry Wanyoike as a politician, but let me hear, what do you say about our current state in the country in terms of our politics? What are your comments regarding where we are as a country?
I believe the country is going to the right direction because we have a leader who is taking this country, he's steering this country in the right direction. And I believe all the leaders, they can follow his steps, footsteps. I believe we can see our economy growing. But I want to urge the politicians we have, they should be very careful because we want to see our Kenya going back where it was in the 2007, 2008. So when we are talking, we have to be very cautious about what we are talking. Because as a leader, everybody, you have your followers, and they follow according to what you do. Like, you can see the president, wherever he goes, there is no fight. But there are some people, wherever they go, there is always chaos. So we want leaders who are there, who think that this country is not for themselves. This country is bigger than any person. So we want to see that our country has developed. We want to see more people coming to invest in Kenya. We want to see Kenya being one of the best countries in Africa, in the world. And I know we can be able to be there if the Kenyans, the Wajiko, can be able to vote for the best the best leaders.
Okay. And do you think, as we wind up, because we are almost out of time, do you think the president believes that this country is bigger than him?
Yeah, I believe the president of the Republic of Kenya, he believes that Kenya is bigger than him, and that is why he is steering this country in the right direction. There are so many things has happened through the Jubilee government, more than what has happened before. You can see children now enjoying education. You have the standard railway gauge and many things which are happening.
Okay.
And I believe if the Jubilee can be given another opportunity for the next years, you can see this country going to the right direction.
Evidently, as an MC, I can already tell which side you're going to be leaning on.
Yeah.
I was avoiding that. But anyway, Henry Wanyoike, thank you very much for joining us this morning. But final question. I see a very interesting band on your hand, and it's written, "Seeing is Believing." That would be a different, rather, interesting band to have on your hand. "Seeing is Believing." What's that all about?
Seeing is Believing is this campaign of the Standard Chartered Bank, because it's one of the initiative and the campaign which started the year back 2003. And I was named the global ambassador for this campaign. And as I have told you, the target was to raise 2 Kenya billion shillings, or rather $100,000 million US. And I'm happy as ambassador of this campaign. We want to show the people that we want to help those who are less fortunate in our community. And in the whole world, we have over 45 million people who are visually impaired. So through my effort and your effort, all those people who take like the marathon of Nairobi, we make a very big difference. And that is why I want to urge more Kenyans to register in the marathon, so that we can stand at the marathon, so that we can be able to make a big difference. And I'm happy that for the children who have gone to the hospitals, who have been able to their eyes have been able to be rectified, now they are able to give them hope. This is what it's all about, to give hope and a smile to the children who could have ended up living a miserable life. This life of disability is quite expensive. It's quite tough. So if there is a way we can be able to support these children who are visually impaired, or those who have disability, it's a one way of empowering our country, because these people, they are there also to support the economy of our country. But when to get our they are quite expensive. If there is a way we can avoid, we can be able to have more people with sight, more people who are able to see for themselves. It's like we are supporting these families.
All right. Thank you very much, Henry Wanyoike, our person of interest today. And just to read some of the comments that are coming through, we have Jennifer, who says, "We wish you all the best in your political career." Mama Liam says, "Vying for MCA Guitar Award, ? I think he is better in sports and the Henry Wanyoike Foundation." So that's just feedback. Very inspiring story from Henry Wanyoike. I didn't know that he was born blind. Well, there you know now that he was born blind, but definitely has made the best out of it. Henry, will have to wind it up right there. And thank you very much for joining us this morning for Person of Interest. He was, yes, for those of you who thought he was born blind, he was actually not born blind, but became blind at the age of 21. So he's a 3 world record holder, 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter, and marathon in Hamburg. But But that's where we wind up our person of interest this morning. For those of us on KTN Home, this is where we part ways, and I say goodbye because Life and Style begins at 8. Those of us on KTN News, we have news updates coming up. Then later on, we're going to be talking on Your Money Today. What are your employers looking for? Do you get frustrated sometimes that you've been holding the same job and you're wondering what is it that your employer is looking for you to get to the next level? Or maybe you're looking for a job and you're wondering what is it that these people want from me? I just cannot seem to clinch that job that I've been looking for. That'll be on Your Money. So those of us on KTN Home, if you'd like to listen into that conversation, you need to switch to KTN News right about now. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.